お前に出会って、お前がそばにいてくれた。この人生に、これ以上望むことなんてない。
Classroom. Following the ring of the bell, you close your books and keep your notes before sorting through the funding applications of various clubs with their practice motions. Somehow, you've been in charge of club-related affairs for more than a month now. You frown in frustration as you stare at the various items and particulars in front of you and massage your sore shoulders.
そうだ。今回のイベントには注意が。
What? Hearing a familiar voice, you look over at the speaker without thinking. However, this person isn't talking to you. You see Luke holding a stack of documents while discussing something with a guy at a table next to you. Despite that, he senses you looking over and smiles at you.
ちょっと生徒会のことでさ、急ぎなんだ。
You nod in response to avoid getting in his way. During your second year on campus, Luke was unsurprisingly elected as the student council president, and you were given the responsibility of overseeing club activities. Luke tries to spend as much time with you as possible during his free time, but even so, you two rarely talk about campus-related matters. It would be nice if you two could do something together, like when you overcame all the challenges together to resolve the campus crisis. With a heavy sigh, you get up and head to the administrator's office. When you see the teacher frowning while flipping through materials in the office, you have a feeling you know what's coming.
学校としては、生徒たちの部活動を前向きに支えたいところですが、さすがに、今回の経費申請は予算を上回りすぎですね。
The teacher's reaction was pretty much what you expected. With the clubs being more active lately because of the traditional festival, it's no surprise that the budget has been exceeded. I've already narrowed down the expenses to the essentials. I hope you can.
そうですね。あ、そうだ!
After having a flash of inspiration, the teacher pulls something out of a drawer and hands it to you. What's this?
今朝届いたのですが、市の教育長が主催する地区ごとの学校が合同参加する競技大会のお知らせです。入賞すると、市大会に進出する権利に加えて、部活の経費も手に入るのだとか。一石二鳥ですね。
Intrigued by the teacher's joy, you take the paper with the details and start reading it carefully. This event is designed to foster all-rounded learning in youth by combining physical challenges with written tasks. Each institution can nominate 2 students to form a team for the competition. The top 5 teams will advance to the city level and earn funding for their institution's activities. The competition is open to all schools in the district, which means we'll need to invest a lot of time and energy in the preparations to come out on top.
部活の仕事については先生が何とかしましょう。めったにない機会ですし、もし上位に入ったらあなた自身の栄誉にもなりますから。生徒会には優秀な生徒がたくさんいます。チームメイトならすぐに見つかるはずです。ものは試しに声をかけてみるのはどうですか?
You still have some concerns, but the seed buried deep within your heart has quietly begun to sprout due to this unexpected opportunity. Well, I'll also run then. Despite saying that, you already have someone in mind. If you can take this opportunity to team up with him, you will gain more than just the prize money and glory. Maybe this special trial is a blessing in disguise. School building hallway. As you consider how to approach the topic with him upon returning to the classroom, you are startled when you turn the corner and see Luke standing directly in front of you. Are you here to see the teacher too?
いや、先生じゃなくて、お前に。
Huh? Luke seems to want to keep things casual, so he speaks casually even though his face betrays his concern for you.
最近、なんか悩んでないよな。会計の仕事大丈夫か？
Why do you ask?
さっき、教室でため息をついてたろ。別に、お前の気持ちを探ってるわけじゃないぞ。ただ気になってさ、何か落ち込むようなことがあるなら、お前さえ良ければ、俺に話してくれないか。
Under the warm morning sun, Luke's eyes are bright and clear, tenderly reflecting your image within them. It's true that something had been bothering you before, but the moment you look into his eyes, all your troubles vanish like fog under the morning sun. When did I sigh? You're genuinely puzzled because you don't remember sighing at all, yet Luke, who was chatting with someone nearby, heard you do it. Luke decides not to press further, but his eyes linger on you curiously. Maybe it was because the club funding work was a bit too complicated, but it's all sorted out now.
本当か？経費以外の悩みはないんだな。
Why would I lie to you?
俺が必要なら頼ってくれ。いつでも手を貸してやるから。あんまり自分にプレッシャーをかけるなよ。
You don't want to trouble him, but you know he'll be even more worried about you if you turn him down now. Thanks. Oh, you reminded me. There's something you can help me with right now. Now that the conversation has finally gotten back on track, you take the opportunity to mention the team competition and activity funding, providing Luke with all the details. If you're not too busy with your student council work, do you think you can...
こんなにうまい話があるなんてな。うちは、こういう他校と競うイベントにはあまり参加しないから、この間、生徒会室を整理した時も、トロフィーなんて一つも出てこなかったし。
This is just a district competition, and many major high schools will be participating, so winning it won't be easy.
つまり、この大会はかなり価値があるってことだろ？もしこれで俺たちが勝ったら、なおさらすごいってことだ。
I guess you're right.
な、俺たちで参加してみよう。実技と筆記の試験は別だし、それぞれ得意分野を生かして欠点をカバーし合えば、優勝だって狙えるさ。
Just as you're about to say yes, you suddenly realize that something isn't right. You should be the one inviting Luke, yet somehow Luke is now the one inviting you. But this is what you wanted, a chance to join forces again in these peaceful days after the crisis has been resolved. Okay.
じゃあ、決まりだな。俺が実技のトレーニングを担当するから、お前は筆記の問題集をまとめてくれ。
No problem.
じゃあ、俺たちのチームワークがいい結果を実らせることを願って。
You shake Luke's hand, sealing the deal on your team up with a small gesture. Just then, the class bell rings, reminding you that it's now time for club activities.
やることが終わったらグラウンドに来いよ。待ってるから。
Everything is turning out better than expected. You say goodbye to Luke and hum the school song happily as you walk toward the club activity room under the sunlight. Lush garden. After finishing up the club, you change into sportswear and go to the sports field to look for Luke, but doesn't see him anywhere. He isn't replying to my messages. Where on earth is he? Could something have happened to him? As you're looking around aimlessly, your attention is caught by the sound of water. You turn around and see a familiar figure. Look! The lush garden is a garden next to the sports field where students can rest after exercising, and there's a row of drinking fountains hidden in the shade of greenery next to the fence. Wearing his uniform shirt, Luke seems to be taking a break after some exercise and is leaning over a drinking fountain to quench his thirst. He seems to be in a rush and has splashed water all over the collar of his shirt, leaving it drenched in water. However, he is oblivious to it. The moment he hears you call out to him, he looks towards you immediately, splashing even more water all over himself. Be careful!
平気だって。今グラウンドを何周も走ってきて暑かったんだよ。これで涼しくなったな。
Have you finished your exercise already?
いや、いつ来るかわからなかったから、ウォーミングアップを済ませておいたんだ。
A water droplet rolls down his cheek toward his neck as he speaks. The wet patches on his shirt grow bigger as the water spreads. Since the summer uniform is quite thin and light, the wet parts of his shirt cling tightly to his skin and seem almost... Look, You speak out subconsciously to tell him about his wet uniform, but you don't know what to say when you look into his confused and innocent gaze. Several choice words flash through your mind quickly, but your face becomes bright red before you can say anything. Embarrassed to look directly at him, you try to shift your gaze as subtly as you can.
どうしたんだ？なんか変なものでも見たか？
Nothing. Afraid that Luke will notice something amiss, you change the topic quickly. I didn't see you at the field, and you were replying to my messages, so I looked all over for you.
ごめん。ランニングしてて、スマホはバッグに入れてたんだ。
It's okay. I'm just glad that you're fine.
学校の中じゃ何も起こらないって。よし、それじゃちょっと待っててくれ。すぐに始めないとな。
Don't you need to rest for a while?
今調子がいいんだ。
Luke reaches out to untie the jacket around his waist and finally realizes the predicament he is in when he looks down.
なんで服が...
After watching him search frantically for a towel to wipe himself dry, you turn around thoughtfully as if you want to avoid seeing anything inappropriate but can't help chuckling to yourself. Luke is surprisingly amusing and adorable when he's shy.
なんで教えてくれなかったんだよ。
How am I supposed to tell you about something like that? Luke moves swiftly, making himself presentable again in less than half a minute before walking up to you like nothing happened.
はい、これで大丈夫だ。まずはウォーミングアップしてから体力テストだな。
Sure.
もう笑うなって。
You laugh even harder because it isn't often that Luke embarrasses himself so amusingly. He speeds up and runs in front of you like he's trying to escape from the embarrassment he's experiencing, but you refuse to let him get away so easily. Just like that, you two start a playful chase, slowing down only when you reach the track. You lock eyes with him once more. School sports field. When it's time to get to business, you both start to get serious. After doing some warm-up exercises under Luke's guidance, the two of you begin testing each other's capability for each contest in the competition. The one that you find it the most frustrating is the 1500-meter run because it's been a long time since you've trained for it.
ファイトファイトあと100メートルだ呼吸と歩幅を調整して、最後の追い込みの準備
Luke sets the pace for you throughout the race, and the first half does feel easier than usual, but your endurance seems to wear out as you approach the finish line. The moment before you reach the finish line, you stumble as your calves give way, just as you are about to completely lose your balance. A pair of hands grab hold of your arms, helping you regain your balance and saving you from your predicament.
完走できて偉いぞよくやったなまずは呼吸を整えて、ゆっくり歩いて、体を落ち着かせよう。さあ、俺に続いて、吸って、吐いて。
As your breathing synchronizes with his, you stop panting and start breathing normally again. Feeling revitalized again, you glance at the stopwatch Luke is holding. Your heart sinks. I did worse than when I was in my freshman year. This is definitely not good enough for the competition.
そう気落ちするなって。大会までまだ時間があるし、トレーニングを続ければ成果につながるさ。
In this competition, the winner will be determined according to the average score of each group. You don't get to team up with Luke often, so you don't want to hold him back. I'll be relying on your intense training then.
体力トレーニングは段階を踏んでやらないといけない。体が慣れるまでの時間もないとダメだ。ちなみに、やりすぎも良くないぞ。筋肉を傷つけて、逆にいい結果にならない。急がば回れって言うだろう。これは、お前のコーチである俺の経験則だからな。
You believe him without any reservations and not even though you aren't happy with it. You've always been good at sports. Is it a talent you were born with?
才能かどうかはわからないけど、小さい頃から走ったり飛んだりするのは好きだった。小学生の時、三者面談でなんて言われたっけな。精力旺盛だって。親戚たちにもやんちゃ坊主って呼ばれていたし。
Really? How could they see that?
幸い両親は理解してくれてたから、俺を諌めるどころか、いろんなスポーツをすることまで応援してくれたんだ。遊び盛りなのは元気で健康な証拠。安全に気を配って、怪我さえしなきゃそれでいいってさ。
That's so nice. Such an open-minded family atmosphere imparts a feeling of genuine happiness to you, and you think this must be why Luke has such a sunny personality. While you're walking back to the starting point, Luke runs toward the backpack he placed under the flagpole. He then returns with a freshly opened sports drink, which happens to be your favorite flavor. After sipping on the perfectly cool drink, you feel much refreshed and continue strolling on the field with him in the afternoon. Since your parents were so supportive of you, did you ever consider pursuing a related career, such as becoming a professional athlete? Luke slows down and looks into the horizon.
俺は人より得意ってだけで、プロのレベルには届かないと思う。趣味を本業にするのはいいことばかりじゃない。俺は運動したいと思った時に自由に走り回れるだけで十分かな。
You're right. There's nothing happier than being able to do what you like as you please.
だろ？これは俺たちがこの学校を守るために全力を尽くしたい理由でもあるし。
You stop and look at each other at the same time as scenes of your shared experiences flash through your minds. Now that I think about it, it's quite incredible that we managed to overcome so many difficulties and turn the situation around.
実を言うと、初めは俺もどんな結末になるか想像できなかったんだ。だけど、お前の姿を見て確信した。俺たち二人なら、絶対大丈夫だってな。
Luke is as frank and serious as ever, and his blunt words feel empowered by their directness.
今回も同じだ。だから心配しないでいい。この水瀬コーチがいる限り、お前の実技試験の成績は保証されたも同然だからな。
When did you become my coach?
さっき決めたんだ。悪くないだろ。
Are you going to charge me a training fee too? In response to your teasing words, Luke frowns slightly like he is giving it some serious thought.
お前は俺の一番弟子だから特別に優遇しよ
Why, thank you.
う。はいはい。それじゃ今日はいろんな種目のテストをしたから早く帰って休むように。俺はまだ生徒会の仕事が残っててさ。だけどお前が出した筆記試験の宿題は忘れないから安心してくれ。
Sure, I'm off then. The moment you take your eyes off him, Luke suddenly leans over and whispers in your ear.
また明日。
Before you can respond, he waves and runs away, disappearing in the blink of an eye. Your teacher and relatives were absolutely right about you. Despite the complaint, you do feel inspired by his energy. When you look up, you realize that it's a sunny day today. School study room. Time seems to fly when you're busy. With the competition drawing closer, you and Luke begin your rigorous training. This is the latest version of the question pool I've compiled.
すごいな。大会の情報をもとにこんなにたくさん問題を集められるなんて出題者よりも考えが行き届いてる。
As the official website only provides a rough idea and it's impossible to cover everything, we must memorize as much of this as possible to get a high score. Luke nods tactfully next to you on a sofa in the corner of a study room where you're both studying the materials for the written exam. You've gotten a lot fitter recently with the training plan Luke tailored for you, but it feels a bit dicey to count on just that to qualify for the next level. Since you can't guarantee your physical fitness score will be good enough, you can only try to maximize your advantage in the written exam. It would be best to aim for a second place or higher to bring up your average ranking. After some time, you feel something weighing down on your shoulder. You look sideways and see Luke's head resting on your shoulder. You can't see his expression, but you can tell from his breathing that he's fast asleep. Look. You instinctively call out to him, but stop yourself quickly. Luke wouldn't slack off deliberately, so he must be really exhausted and in need of sleep. From your angle, you can clearly see his sharp nose and the shadows of his eyelashes trembling slightly under the light. The unexpected intimacy takes you by surprise, but you are willing, and even a little pleased, to let him continue resting his head on you. Despite your racing heart, you are saddened by the tired look on his face. You registered for this competition due to your responsibilities and involved Luke out of your own selfishness. It's all because of you that his busy schedule become worse. The unexpected sneeze startles you.
あれ、俺いつの間に寝ちゃってたんだ。
Luke, After thinking about it, you decide to come clean with Luke. Please tell me if this competition is making things too difficult for you. You don't want Luke to take on additional stress and hardship because of your selfish desires.
困ったこと？そんなの全然ないって。確かに最近忙しかったけど、いろんなことが一度に重なったからで、大会のせいじゃないからな。約束しただろ。二人一緒なら、向かうところ敵なし。
But you...
じゃあ、俺からも質問。最初に俺とチームを組んでくれたとき、本心だったか？本気で俺と一緒に勝ちたいって思ってくれたか？
Of course.
だったら、何の問題もないな。その目標が変わらない限り、乗り越えられない困難なんてない。学校の大ピンチだって、一緒に解決してきただろ。大会くらいどうってことないさ。それとも、こんなバカな仲間は嫌か？
Of course not. Luke smiles triumphantly in response to your eager denial. That's when you realize that you have fallen into his trap and let him change the topic. Your responses during your casual conversation show just how well you know each other. A lot can be left unsaid because it just isn't necessary to say it out loud.
自分の面倒は自分で見るよ。だから、お前も俺のことを見届けてくれ。それでどうだ？
Okay.
だいたい、大会に参加したのは俺の意思で、俺のわがままなんだから。
Luke's voice gets quieter and quieter as he mumbles, becoming so indistinct that you can't hear the end of his sentence. What were you saying?
俺たちは青春してるし、全力で向き合わないとならないような挑戦じゃないと面白くないだろ？アニメでもゲームでも、世界を救う使命を背負うやつになりたいって、子供の頃は憧れてたくらいだからな。今回の大会なんて、簡単なサブクエストみたいなものだ。難しくもなんともない。
Like always, look as warm and pleasant as sunshine. You have to remember that your health comes first. Don't strain yourself.
お前がそばにいてくれるなら、無理なことなんて何もないって。
Luke holds your hand under the table, melting away your lingering unease and hesitation with his warm hands. In this corner hidden from prying eyes, you're taken completely by surprise by the straight ball he has pitched at you.
俺のことを心配してくれて、すごく嬉しかった。だけど、仲間として、コーチとして、もっと信頼に足る男でありたい。そんな男でいさせてほしい。前にピンチになって立ち向かった時みたいに、どんな結果があったとしても、互いに信じ合っていたように。
How can anyone resist these words and the look in his eyes? All you can do is respond to his kiss by moving closer to him. You never seem stressed or worried. No matter how difficult things are, you never seem to lose sight of your goal.
お前が言うほどすごくないよ。これでも困る時だってあるし。ま、俺には自己和解の秘訣があるけどな。
What do you mean?
そうだな。これを教えるには追加の授業料がないと割に合わないぞ。
Luke deliberately keeps you in suspense. Tell me already. Not want to be outdone, you reach out and pinch his cheek slightly to threaten him.
わかったわかった。言うよ。
Luke mutters to himself as he takes off his watch and puts it on the table.
趣味を本業にするのはいいことばかりじゃないって話、覚えてるか？
Yeah.
あれは、中2の頃か。体育の成績をかなり意識してた時期があって、毎日トレーニング結果を細かく記録してたんだ。そしたら、だんだん数字にとらわれて、他のことを考えなくなってた。進歩がないのは努力が足りないから、才能が足りないから、って具合にな。気づけば俺は、運動が嫌いになってた。トレーニングの時間が来れば苦痛で、体育の授業も嫌になってさ。それから体育の先生に呼ばれて、なんで運動が好きなんだって聞かれたんだ。俺はそこで我に返った。わかったんだ。心の中にある好きという気持ちは、目に見える成果が欲しくて生まれたわけじゃないってことに。何も強制されずに走り抜ける、あの自由な感覚が好きだ。走り続けていれば、どこまでも進んでいけるように思えるのが好きなんだって。俺が欲しかったのは、成績でも数字でもない。自由に、思う存分楽しめる時間が欲しかったんだ。そんなことがあったから、俺はどんな時でも自分のペースでいられるように意識してる。
Luke gestures for you to look at the watch face. You move closer to him and join him in watching the numbers on the dial change with the passing of time.
男子100メートル走の世界記録は 9.58 秒。だけど、この記録は俺にとって何の意味もない。10秒、20秒、30秒でも、走りたい気持ちがあって、それを楽しめているなら、俺には十分だよ。だから困難に直面した時は、時間の流れを意識して、自分の目的を思い出すようにしてるんだ。絡まった糸をほぐせば、大抵は自分が最初に決めた道から外れたせいで、無駄に悩みを増やしてたことに気づく。だから、まずは自分と和解する。それさえできれば、悩みも解消されていくさ。
He seems to be telling a gentle story. You find yourself enamored by him as you try to do and feel what he described. Though you don't fully understand his secret method, perhaps due to his influence, you find yourself coming down as time goes by. I think it's working.
そうだ。
Luke suddenly sensed, but his movement is so big that he almost bumps into a decorative shelf on the wall.
言い忘れてたことがあった。昨日、新しいトレーニング方法を思いついたんだよ。
What is it?
ほら、まずは体育館に行こう。
Somehow, his eagerness also drives you to move faster. You put away your computer and books in a hurry and follow him to the gym. School gym. There's nobody in the gym at this time, so all you can hear are the echoes of sounds you two are making.
お前、こないだ、走るときは毎秒長く感じるけど、勉強してるときはあっという間に時間が過ぎちゃうって言ったよな。
You stare at him blankly for a moment before you recall that conversation. You said it the day before when you were complaining angrily, tired, and out of breath during the endurance training. Well, it's true.
俺は逆に、運動してると時間の流れが早く感じるけど、教科書と向き合った途端に集中できなくなって、ぼーっとしちまう。それで、どうにかならないか散々考えて、一挙両得の解決を思いついたってわけだ。
Like what?
その二つを組み合わせるんだよ。俺たちにはそれぞれ得意分野があるだろ。その強みを生かしたら絶対スムーズに進められるじゃないか。
It sounds incredible, but I don't really understand. Are you telling me to memorize questions and answers while running?
忘れたのか？俺たちは一人じゃないだろ。
As he speaks, he grabs two orange-yellow triangular signs to represent the two of you, waving them around as he explains his solution.
実は体力トレーニングには効率的な方法がある。30秒ダッシュと30秒間のジョギングを交互に繰り返すんだ。30秒といえば、筆記試験で1問に使える合理的時間だって前に計算してくれたよな。
You nod even though you're not sure what these two things have to do with each other.
お前がダッシュするとき、俺は問題集から出題する。答えを知っていたら教えてくれ。わからなければ俺が答えを言う。お前がジョギングするときは、その問題を俺に聞き返す。そしたら、俺もお前も問題と答えが頭に入るだろう。前のトレーニングと同じように、1セット5分にしよう。時間になったら交代するんだ。走ってるとき、お前は問題の暗記に気を取られて、時間を遅く感じることもなくなるはず。俺は、運動してるときは脳が興奮してるから、注意力散漫になったり、眠くなったりしない。
Although you're amused by how proud and confident Luke looks when he is telling you about his innovative training method, you're still a little skeptical of it. Will this really work?
それは、やってからのお楽しみだ。
After you get changed and warm up, the training begins. You focus on thinking of the answers to the questions Luke asks you while you sprint. Your brain focuses so intently on the questions that you actually manage to ignore your physical fatigue, and you're no longer staring at your watch with the feeling that every second is unbearable. In this way, 5 minutes pass by in a flash. It really works.
悪くなかったろ。じゃあ、俺の番な。
This is the first time you've enjoyed fitness training this much, and for the first time in your life, you feel that 1 hour is too short. This is such a great idea. How did you think of it?
そうだな。ただ、大会の特訓を面白くする方法はないかって考えてた。お前に辛い思いをさせたくなくて。
You did it for me. You had anticipated Luke's response to be something entirely unpredictable, but his seriousness now catches you off guard.
お前がこの大会に気合を入れてるのは分かってたけど、知らず知らずのうちに自分にプレッシャーをかけすぎてるんじゃないかって思ってさ。暗記してる時だってずっと怖い顔をしてたろ。気づいてなかったかもしれないけど、ため息も増えてたからな。
That's not. As you instinctively disagree with him, guilt wells up inside you subconsciously. You can never hide your thoughts and feelings from Luke, as he always manages to see through you eventually. It's true that this competition is something that you want to do your best in. Plus, it's also a rare opportunity for you and Luke to work together again. That's why you want to do your best to recreate the experience of overcoming challenges and rising to victory together again.
俺も、お前と一緒にやり遂げたいよ。このことだけじゃない。これからのいろんなことを、全部。もちろん結果は大事だけど、お前にはその過程も楽しんでもらいたいんだ。数年後にこの大会のことを振り返ったとき、一番に思い出すのが苦痛とストレスだったら、それこそ頑張り損だろ。成績や順位にこだわりすぎたら、最初に学校の名誉を守ると決めた俺たちの初心に背くことになっちまう。
Everything he says hits home and helps you liberate yourself from the worries binding you. Yes, one reason you decided to participate in this competition was to create more happy memories with Luke. But now, you're so obsessed with doing well that the outcome has become more important than the time you're spending with him. After figuring this out, you feel the shackles around your heart loosen up. You breathe a sigh of relief.
やっと笑ったな。これで安心だ。
Luke's smile seems wider and more cheerful than before. It's almost as if he cares more about how you're feeling than how busy he is. I never realized you were so good at teaching and cheering people up. Why don't you become a teacher in the future?
先生に？考えたことなかったな。正義の味方みたいにかっこいい職業なら考えたことあるけどさ。警察とか探偵とか。ま、生徒がみんなお前みたいに賢くて可愛いなら先生も悪くないかもしれない。
Luke's face slowly turns red, and you wonder if it's because you are staring at him or because he just realized he said something embarrassing.
その、生徒会に用事があるんだった。お前も早く帰って休むんだぞ。
You can't help but crack up when you see him running away desperately. Luke runs all the way to the entrance of the gym before he stops and turns to wave to you with a smile on his face. You get the feeling that you'll still remember this indescribable beautiful scene many years later. The sun is shining brightly behind Luke, but the most dazzling thing inside right now is the smile on his face. School dormitory. Before you know it, it's already the eve of the competition. As the high school where the competition will be held is close to Minerva Academy, you decide to stay in the dorm by yourself instead of going home on the weekend. I can't sleep. I might as well get up and memorize some more answers. However, before you can flip through the question book, your phone rings. It's Luke.
まだ起きてるのか？早く休めって。万全の状態で大会に臨めるだろ？
I know that. I had just fallen asleep when you called me.
嘘つけ。寝てないって。一発でわかるぞ。まさか、復習なんてしてないよな。
How did you know?
俺に占いの才能があるのかもしれない。
Be honest with me.
さっき寮の前を通って、お前の部屋の照明がついてるのを見たからだよ。
Are you still downstairs?
いない。もう帰った後だ。
Guided by your intuition, you make your way to the window quickly and see a familiar figure living swiftly in the night.
はいはい、白状するよ。実は俺もちょっと眠れなくて、グラウンドで何周か走ってきた。しばらくこういう競技大会に参加してなかったから、緊張してるらしい。けど、お前の声を聞いたら、だいぶ落ち着いたよ。
You could see the same too. Although you aren't with him in person, his presence alone is enough to soothe the pent-up worries in your heart. You nod with satisfaction, forgetting that he can't see you on the other end of the phone.
どうして黙ってるんだ？やっぱり眠れないのか？
Oh, I...
それなら、お前が眠れるように物語でも聞かせてやるよ。
You instantly stop explaining when you hear him volunteer to provide this extra service. Sure.
よし。じゃあ、少年夏の物語を話そう。夏は王国で最も勇敢な少年だった。悪い竜を倒して姫を助け出すために、彼は冒険を始めた。
Lying on the bed with your phone next to your pillow, you listen attentively to the story about Lucky and feel like this is the most soothing night you've ever experienced. You don't know how long it took, but you eventually close your eyes contentedly and fall asleep to the sound of Luke's story. Dormitory downstairs. The next morning, you wake up to the sunshine and birdsong bursting with energy and joy after a good night's sleep. After preparing everything you need to bring, you realize there's still 10 minutes until it's time to meet Luke, so you decide to go downstairs and do some warm-up exercises. However, the moment you walk out of the building, you see a familiar figure standing under the shade of a nearby tree with something in his hand. Luke!
ああ
As if one shared glance is enough to cheer you both up, you share a smile the moment your eyes meet.
早いな。まだ待ち合わせの時間じゃないだろ
You're the one who's early. Don't tell me you've been waiting here all this time.
ないない。俺も着いたばっかりだ。そうだ。これをやるよ。
He hands you the thermal bag in his hand as if he is offering a treasure to you and even shakes it playfully in front of you.
ついでに、お前の分の朝ごはんも持ってきた。とにかく見てみなって。
You look at it curiously at first because you can't see what's inside the bag. All you can see is hot steam escaping from the gaps. This bag is like a mystery box that gives the early morning a feeling of suspense. You know that it definitely contains something you like. After taking the bag from him and opening it carefully, you are instantly greeted by an appetizing aroma. Wow! There are so many things in here. There are a variety of meals in the bag and even a cake that can only be bought at the faculty cafeteria farthest from the student dorm. Hence, you can only pretend to believe what he said about getting the breakfast along the way.
一日の始まりだからな。朝ごはんはちゃんと食べないと。
But I can't possibly eat all of this. Luke looks at you with a glowing eyes that seem to be hinting at something. I suppose we can share.
もちろん。
Sitting next to each other on the bench outside the dorm, you share a breakfast blessed by the morning sun. Perhaps it's true that good mood and appetite come hand in hand as the extra large bag of food you thought you would never finish is just enough for the two of you. After feasting on the breakfast, Luke packs up the trash and throws it away. Then he returns with a bicycle that is used to carry passengers on campus. A bicycle? Aren't we going there by bus?
駅まで少し距離があるから乗せていってやるよ。お前は体力を温存しとけ。
What about you?
この程度の運動大したことないって。朝練とウォーミングアップにちょうどいいくらいだ。
You nod and hop on the seat behind Luke on the bicycle. There's a dedicated bicycle lane that runs smoothly through the campus. You look down at your watch trying to estimate how long it will take before you reach your destination. As you are concentrating, the bicycle suddenly jolts as it hits a speed bump on the path. Luke is a good cyclist, so you never expected to run into a bump like this. In a panic, you instinctively hug him tightly.
俺、大丈夫か
I'm fine. At this moment, your hands are around his waist and grasping the corner of his clothes tightly. You feel like it's a little deliberate to pull them back now, but
落ちたら危ないだろ。このままでいいよ。
okay. And for safety reasons, you hug Luke even tighter than before. As you pull him, you can feel his warmth clearly through his shirt. Just then, you hear people talking and laughing next to a side road nearby. You bury your fist in Luke's bag and pretend that you can't see anyone and nobody can see you. Suddenly, the world becomes quiet and all you can hear is the harmony of your breathing and heartbeats. That and the words in your heart that you've never voiced. Campus Square. By the time the two of you arrive at the entrance of the school where the competition is being hosted, there are already some people standing there.
へえ、さすがは市内一と名高い名門校だな。体育館がいくつもある。
From where you're standing in the line, look and you stare enviously at the campus map at the door. I'm so envious. I wonder when our school will be able to. Suddenly, as a commotion erupts in the crowd, a familiar face flashes past, one you recognize from the news.
そいつなら知ってる。第一高校の特進クラスの天才で、13歳の時に首席で高校に入学したんだとか。
Why are so many major high schools participating in the competition?
勝てば市大会や全国大会にも参加できるからな。価値のある大会だから、みんな気合入ってるんだろう。そう考えたら、俺たちってすごいルーキーだよな。
Luke speaks lightheartedly, like he doesn't care about the direness of the situation at all, but you're in no mood to joke around. With all your efforts over such a long time be in vain, if everything comes to naught, Luke suddenly comes up to you while your imagination is running wild.
やっぱり、今のなし。別に俺だって気合は入ってるぞ。
Huh? What do you mean? It takes you a moment before you realize that he must have mistaken the reason why you were lost in thought. After that, you burst out in laughter and start to relax. On second thought, it's possible that Luke did that on purpose. He's always been able to sense what's troubling you and find a way to help you. Do you think we will have wasted all our efforts during this time if we fail to qualify for the next level?
じゃ、先に答えてくれ。あの時、俺とチームを組んでって言ってくれたのは、単に勝ちたかったからか？
Of course not.
なら、俺の答えも一緒さ。俺はとっくに、結果よりもずっと大事なものを手に入れたからな。
Before you can ask him more about this, a staff walks up to you and checks your student IDs to verify your identities. Since the rules state that participants from the same school have to go to different venues, you and Luke are separated and taken to different examination locations. After taking a few steps, you turn around to see Luke also looking at you, mouthing the words, "You can do it." You nod and turn around to go to your examination location. This time, you no longer feel uneasy. All you feel is the eagerness to see Luke again. This is because you finally realize that you've already gained something far more precious than the result. Campus Square. With the physical fitness test and written exam now completed, all the contestants are gathered in front of the electronic screen in the square, eagerly awaiting the results for the written exam and the final rankings to be displayed. You're as amazing as ever. Your fitness score is miles ahead of the second place.
他校の選手たちは、筆記試験に重点を置いてたのかもしれないな。それで、相対的に実技がおろそかになったのかも。お前こそすごいじゃないか。今回の試験、全部個人のベストスコアだぞ。
Hehe, I didn't expect that either. My body's a lot more relaxed now after freeing myself from the burdens weighing me down. You recall how you felt when you ran freely earlier and start to understand what Luke told you about the freedom and happiness of exercising. But even though I perform exceptionally well, my ranking isn't that high in the physical fitness test, which means I'll need to do really well in the written exam to qualify. Luke turns his head and gives you a worried look, seemingly wanting to say something. You know what he wants to say, so you say it before him to leave him speechless. I'll be fine. I won't be unhappy even if we fail to qualify. A commotion breaks out in the crowd. It seems that the final results and rankings have just been announced. Let's go take a look. Excited by the moment, you reach out and hold Luke's hand without realizing it, and Luke responds by tightening his grip. You push through the thick crowd together to witness the fruit of your joint efforts. Minerva Academy, I see it. We came fifth. We qualified. We did it. Caught up in the joy of the moment, you hug Luke elatedly. But you let go immediately and look up in embarrassment after realizing what you just did in public. The huge crowd presses against you, bringing you and Luke closer to each other. People are cheering and shouting out in disappointment all around you, but neither of you pays them any heed at this moment, focusing only on the reflection of yourselves in each other's eyes.
どうやら、俺たちの道はまだまだ続きそうだな。
Luke's words are a little ambiguous, conveying both the literal meaning and hinting at something that seems self-evident to you. In that case, let's go together. As this isn't the finals, no grand award ceremony is held after the competition. All you have are a few school management staff who came to present medals to the qualifying teams.
まさかメダルだったとはな。トロフィーなら生徒会室の一番目立つところに飾ったのに。
This is just a district level competition after all. I'm sure they will award trophies at the city level or national level competitions.
じゃあ、俺たちもっと頑張らないとな。
It's such a shame that they didn't hold an award ceremony. I know it's a little abstract and all, but something feels missing. Without that little bit of formality. As you speak, you rub the medal box and imagine the scene of you and Luke being awarded medals on a podium. I feel like I'm staring at a progress bar that has gotten stuck at 99% while loading. While you lament about this little regret of yours, Luke leans close to your ear.
そしたら、残りの 1% は俺に任せろ。
You're not entirely sure what he means by that, but before you can think it over, he grabs your hand and leads you to the nearest school building. SM classroom. The classroom is quiet and empty in the afternoon, leaving you all alone with Luke in the sunny room. The scene of the familiar tables and chairs evokes memories of you writing furiously not long ago, and it puts you in a complicated mood.
どうかしたのか？
Everything feels so unbelievable.
不思議？
I can't believe we pulled it off. I'm so happy. I feel like I'm dreaming.
じゃあ、真面目に言っとかないとな。これは夢なんかじゃない。俺たちは本当に大会の入賞を果たしたんだ。
As if trying to reinforce his words, Luke takes a medal out of the box and walks up to you to formally present the medal to you.
本大会で見事に5位の成績を収めたことを表彰し、お前の栄誉をたたえてメダルを授与いたします。
What are you doing?
学校が式をやらないんだから、俺たちでやろう。2人だけの授賞式だ。
You smile and walk over to him. Luke lowers his head as he attaches the medal to your collar, and then he shakes your hand solemnly as a form of encouragement. The medal sparkles brightly under the sun. Every groove and contour of the medal is proof of the hardship you two have experienced together and the shared glory of this moment.
さあ、今度は俺の番な。
As he speaks, he hands his medal box to you and puffs up his chest. In the empty classroom, you hold an award ceremony just for the two of you. At this moment, your world revolves entirely around each other, with everything else fading away into insignificance. You take the medals out of the box and attach it to Luke's collar, but you seem to have some trouble attaching it. Huh, where's the pin? To find out why the pin isn't working properly, you lean closer to look. Oh, it's stuck here. This won't take long. When you look up triumphantly, your nose brushes gently against Luke's chin. The next thing you know, you're looking right into each other's eyes. That's when you realize that you have inadvertently closed the space that you typically keep between him and you. Luke gazes into your eyes. A flash of surprise lights up his eyes before his face starts to redden. However, neither of you have any intention to move away or back off. Instead, you both seem to be enjoying this rare moment of intimacy.
メダルも悪くないかもしれない。
Huh?
トロフィーだったら生徒会室に飾ったけど、この小さいメダルなら自分だけのものにできるだろ。一生大切に取っとくさ。これを見れば、すぐに俺たちの大会の思い出が蘇ってくるから。
Memories will accumulate over the years, blending together until they become an inseparable whole that never fades. This time, and your memories of this time, belong to only you and Luke. Actually, I was going to invite you to team up with me, but you ended up asking me first.
知ってた。待ちきれなくてさ。俺からしてみれば、ただの大会じゃなかった。待ちに待った機会だったんだ。お前と肩を並べて、一緒に何かに立ち向かうための。ええよって大義名分があったから、俺は何も恐れることなく、お前に近づけた。つまり、俺のわがままだったんだ。
It turns out that you and Luke are always in sync with each other. Actually, it's the same here. We've both been busy with our own things after resolving the crisis, and I was worried that we'd drift apart over time. That's why I really wanted to team up with you and win something together again.
それなら、俺たちはずっと同じものを見ていたんだな。
Luke's eyes shine brightly like twinkling stars, precisely what your heart desires at this moment.
まあ、今だから言えることだけど、生徒会の仕事に追われて、接点がどんどん減っていくんじゃないかって考えた時期もあった。でも、校舎を歩いてる時、クラスメートが楽しそうに笑ってるのを見て、全部元に戻ったことを実感してさ。それで気づいた。こうして目の前にあるすべてのことが、二人で頑張った結果なんだって。俺たち、一度も離れてなんかいなかったんだ。お前がいてくれたから、自分のことがもっと好きになれた。一緒にいると、何でもできるような気がしてくる。俺たちが同じ目的を持って隣にいられるなら、俺は大満足だ。
Is that why you reminded me to enjoy the process more instead of focusing too much on the results?
俺は目的地より、旅の途中で手にしたものが大切だって思うからな。人生には終着点があって、みんな同じ場所に向かっている。だけど、それぞれの旅路が違うからこそ、唯一無二の存在になれる。お前に出会って、お前がそばにいてくれた。この人生に、これ以上望むことなんてない。
The wind rustles the classroom curtains, carrying his whispers to your ears. Your world starts trembling because of his words, and your heart wavers as it aches for something you shouldn't yearn for. At this moment, you feel like a tender sprout that has been tightly embraced by the sun after breaking through the ground in spring, and is now growing widely and freely toward the clouds. Your breath quickens and you subconsciously clench your hands. Your wild heartbeat is shared with the person in front of you, the same person who disrupted its rhythm.
俺たちの道は、これからも続いていく。だから、これからも、そばにいさせてほしい。ダメか？
Luke raises his hand and extends his pinky to you, inviting you to make a pinky promise. You feel so fortunate that this amazing youth has entered your life and changed your life during these youthful years. His invitation and promise make you realize that you don't need to fixate on moments of unbridled freedom because you still have a long future with countless possibilities with him. Although you burst out laughing at this solemn yet childish ceremony, you still raise your hand and hook your pinky with his.
よし！これで、完璧な一日になっただろ？
Are you happy already? I was thinking of allocating some activity funds to the student council, but if you don't need it, then...
お、独り占めする気か？じゃあ、次の打ち上げで、しっかり話をつけないとな。
What celebration party?
授賞式と同じ。俺たち二人で過ごす時間のことだよ。
Luke reaches out to you as he speaks, looking like a hero who is inviting you to a celebration of success after making a triumphant return. Without thinking, you grab his hand and let him lead you to the next surprise. Your shadows cast by the sun overlap, symbolizing your intertwining paths in the future. Having already formed a bond, you decide to accompany each other and safeguard your respective journeys. The road ahead is long, but you will walk this path together.
Today, 今日は俺もやらないといけないことがあるんだ。お互い頑張ろう。俺がいて少しは楽になったか？もうこんな時間か。どうする？まだ続けるか？少し外を歩かないか？一緒に太陽を浴びて新鮮な空気を吸ってさ。